So, what does it really mean to worship? It's a huge question, one people have been asking forever. Today, we're going to look for an answer in a kind of unexpected place, a really ancient song, Psalm 95, that turns out to be an incredible guide. Let's dive in.
Here's the thing. Every single one of us is wired to worship. It's just part of being human. So the real question isn't if you worship, it's what or who you worship. I mean, take a second and really think about it. What do you treasure most? Because whatever that is, that's where you're giving your ultimate loyalty.
But here's the catch. That worship instinct we all have, it gets twisted. It's so easy to just go through the motions, to sing the songs, say the words, but our hearts are a million miles away. Worship can become just another routine, or even worse, it kind of subtly becomes all about us, what we're getting out of it, how it makes us feel.
And that's exactly why Psalm 95 is such a game changer. You can think of it like a map that guides us back to what's real. It's both this amazing, vibrant invitation to come and celebrate, but at the same time, it gives us a pretty serious warning. It's here to show us how to make our worship authentic again.
Okay, so the first stop on this map, the very first principle, is this. Real worship doesn't start with us. It doesn't start with our feelings, our songs, or our style. It starts with God. It's all about getting a big, clear, and accurate picture of who we are actually worshiping.
And this slide just lays it out so perfectly. If our idea of God is small, our worship will be small. It's like looking at your reflection in a tiny, muddy puddle. It's just flat. But when you see God for who He is, majestic, awesome, glorious, it's like looking up at a massive mountain range. It naturally produces both reverence and real joy. See, the size of your worship depends on the size of your God.
So who is this God according to the Psalm? Well, first up, He is the supreme king above all gods. That means He's sovereign over every government, every president, every CEO, every power structure, and yeah, every single idol we're tempted to put in His place.
And let's be real, we all have idols. They might not be little statues we bow down to, but what about our careers, or financial security, or approval from others? It's like John Calvin famously said, our hearts are just constantly churning out these little rival gods. But Psalm 95 just cuts right through all that noise and says, nope, there's only one true king.
And His kingship isn't just, over other powers or authorities. It's over the very fabric of reality itself. He's not just the king, He's the creator. From the deepest parts of the ocean that no human eye has ever seen, to the highest mountain peaks, He made it all. The logic here is so simple, but it's incredibly profound. Because He made it, He owns it. The sea, it's His. The land, that's His too. His fingerprints are in everything. And that means everything, our time, our money, our very next breath, it all belongs to Him.
And then the psalm does something really beautiful. It zooms in from this huge cosmic scale right down to something incredibly personal. The same God who holds galaxies in His hands is also our maker. He personally formed us. And even more than that, He's our shepherd. He's the one who leads us, protects us, and cares for us.
Okay, so let's just pull it all together. This one short psalm gives us this stunning 7-part vision of who God is. He's the self-existent Lord, the supreme king, the creator, the owner of everything, our maker, our shepherd, and the rock of our salvation. When you really grasp this vision of God, it changes everything about worship.
All right, so if that's the who of worship, what about the how? What's our proper response to a God like that? Because knowing all this stuff about God isn't enough. True worship has to respond. It has to act.
And what's so cool is that the psalm shows us this amazing balance. On the one hand, you've got this loud, expressive, joyful praise. We're talking singing, shouting, making a joyful noise. But at the very same time, you have this deep, humble reverence, physically bowing down, kneeling before our Maker. Real worship isn't one or the other, it's both. It's this incredible blend of joyful celebration and humble awe.
But here's a crucial point. Worship isn't a monologue. It's not just us singing at God. It's a dialogue, a two-way conversation. We speak to God with our songs and our thanks, absolutely. But then we have to quiet ourselves and listen as He speaks back to us through His Word.
And then, bam, the whole psalm just pivots. The tone completely shifts. After all that joyful celebration, we get this stark, focused, and urgent line. It's a moment that's meant to grab our full attention. And that forces us to ask a really important question. What does it actually mean to hear God's voice? I mean, is it just about information going into our ears? The Psalms suggest it's way, way more than that.
This is really the heart of the matter. The ultimate test of our worship isn't how well we sing, but how we respond when God's word speaks directly to us. Because hearing God's voice and doing nothing about it, well, the Bible has a name for that, a hardened heart.
And this is where that sober warning we talked about really kicks in. The psalmist points us back to this story of the Israelites in the desert. Think about it. They saw God do incredible miracles. They literally heard his voice, but they still refused to trust him. They heard, but they didn't obey.
And because of that stubborn unbelief, God said they would not enter his rest. Now, when the psalm talks about rest, it's not talking about taking a nap. It's this deep sense of security and peace that comes from trusting God, from living under his good rule, and finally stopping our frantic efforts to save ourselves. A hardened heart makes you forfeit that incredible peace. So what's the takeaway? Psalm 95 basically gives us a four-step path to real worship. First, you behold God for who he truly is, big and glorious. Second, you respond with your whole person, your voice, your body, your emotions. Third, you listen to what he has to say with a soft and ready heart. And fourth, you obey. Not tomorrow, not next week, but today.
And so we end right where the psalmist's warning began, with this incredibly personal and urgent invitation. This isn't just some dusty old poem. It's a living challenge for you and me, right now. So the question this whole explainer really leaves us with is simple. Today, when you hear his voice, what are you going to do?